GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.
Experience the next level of imaging with the Vivo X100 series. Buy now.
I was a childhood, I idolized Hrithik Roshan. I think when I saw him in Kahana Pyar is when I was like, okay, मुझे भी actor बनना है, but इन सारी चीज़ों पे काम करना है, body, dance, this. I think he's the reason I started dancing. I started going to the gym.
Wow.
And then, Anil Kapoor साहब and I have I've done small roles in him. थार में रोल किया. एक लड़की को देखा तो ऐसा लगा मैं रोल किया. And then Piku with DP. I think most actors, particularly in our industry, I don't know why, but they come with a bit of entitlement. Ki I should be the main, I should be seen, I should be the center. Even in some of the images that have been going around the internet from the screenings we've been to and some selfies we've taken, somebody asked me, "Tu beech mein kaise khada hai?" And I said, "Oh, Hrithik took me there. I didn't go and stand. You know me. I didn't force myself in the center, but Hrithik put me there. What gracious superstar. He could have been like, I'm the limelight. I should be in the center.
Yeah.
Mega star.
He's related to Vivek Oberoi or certain people. Does that make you think कि okay, we shouldn't be still doing it?
Has anyone brought me in front of the media and said, इसको launch कर रहे हैं? वो कभी हुआ नहीं. Usually film families में लोगों को launch किया जाता है. There's a platform built for them. They are stars before their first film. I think I was unknown to the public until my 10th or 15th project.
Very few actors have the power to take you on an incredible emotional ride. But when it's Akshay Oberoi, we only have to experience brilliance and expect the, insane amount of acting skills from someone like him. And I have watched Fighter and I can personally vouch for him. He's one of the best things in the movie, and if you have to watch Fighter, watch it for him. Hi Akshay, welcome to Galatta India.
Man, thank you for
I
such a
genuinely
lovely
felt
introduction.
that, when I was watching the film, I was watching with a friend, and right after the movie, I told her that, you know what, I didn't feel that Hrithik hero hai, Deepika heroine, and nothing of that sort. Because each and every character I got so involved in, and as a film critic, you are always looking for mistakes.
Yeah.
Here I felt there was nothing, because honestly, I felt so emotional. I felt so happy also because the cinematic experience that it was, and every actor got his or her due, I feel. The screen presence, the timing, the role. But when I talk about you, you have done some incredible work in the past, and we have always spoken about it. But now, personally, I feel very happy because जब वो critical plus commercial hit एक मिल जाता है ना actor को, that combination is kick-ass.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Is it like getting too overwhelming?
No, not at all. In fact, it warms my heart. Like even this kind introduction you gave me, it's you guys have all seen the journey, and especially media people, they're so closely attached to movies. So when I see the happiness in you, the way that you're talking to me now, or that you feel, or you must have felt while watching the movie, it sort of makes me feel, I'm on the right track. It's a reminder of like, यार सर झुका के काम करो बस और बाकी सब भूल जाओ. And sometimes it's hard to remember that. But when I sit here and I talk to you, I get reminded that yes, I've made you happy for my journey. And that means so much to me, because all actors want to do is connect with the audience watching. And the first thing, if you can connect with the industry and the media, and they say like, hey man, I've seen this guy do 2 bit parts, not get his due, and there he is getting his due, and you're happy as a result. It is like, it's crazy for me, it's just, and it's validating for me, and it's a reminder of what hard work can bring you, what grit and determination can bring you.
It also feels like a personal victory, even though, we have spoken in the past and I have always appreciated your work. But sometimes you look at an actor and you think, this person deserves so much more. And I wish that he or she gets that. And when that happens, I feel like, okay, something great has happened to me. That's what I felt when I heard your name, that, you are doing Fighter. And then I went and I watched it and I saw Bash. Oh my God. What a character, how you have acted. It's been like so good. And when I was watching the movie, I was feeling, Akshay fits in perfectly, because now I can't imagine anyone else. And to be honest, I felt that for each and every character. Maybe that's like the brilliance of casting.
That's the brilliance of Siddharth Anand also.
Yeah. When you got to know, okay, I'm gonna do Fighter, what was your initial reaction like?
Oof. So I had done Flesh, that Sid and Mamta produced, right? I think most audience doesn't know that Siddharth Anand produced Flesh with Mamta Anand, but and Flesh, I was such a horrible, mean,
I know, scary person,
flesh trade owner. And so when the show came out, I think I got a lot of acclaim for it. The show got a lot of acclaim, even from some of the toughest critics in our industry. I remember Mamta called me and she said, I'm looking at all these reviews and I'm feeling so sad that the work is not out there for more people to see. But don't worry, one day I'll get you something that you deserve.
Wow.
And Mamta Anand said those words to me. And literally, I think a year later, she called me and said, come to the office and read the script of Fighter. And she said, your character is Bash. So if you like it, I said, Mamta, even if it's like one line in this film, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And that was a great day. It was such a great day to go to that office, know that you're in this movie that is like the biggest director, the biggest actors and huge budgets, and also representing the Air Force. And then to read the script and realize how impactful your role is, and in a Hrithik Roshan movie, in a star vehicle, to have that kind of standout, role, it was a great day. It really, and I'm so happy that was, maybe a year and a half ago. And here we are a year and a half later. Now that happiness the world is sharing.
Yeah.
I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in my wife's eyes that people are like, you deserve this and you got it.
Yeah. But you need to have an insane amount of security as an actor to do a role like this one, because even today I feel a lot of actors, even though it was a brilliant role, would sort of think ki but ye to wo proper lead nahi hai. But I will tell you, when I was watching the movie throughout, I did not feel that Hrithik is the hero or Deepika is the heroine. I felt every character was so well fleshed out that it was just feeling like, okay, there's a group of, I got involved. I firstly forgot your Akshay Oberoi playing that character. I was just looking at him as Bash. But how much time did it take to become that, secure as an actor, or were you always like that?
That's a great question. I think most actors, particularly in our industry, I don't know why, but they come with a bit of entitlement. I should be the main, I should be seen, I should be the center. And there's something that even my manager Shruti always talks about, is just get out there and work, yaar. I mean, what is the big deal? And if you want to make a career in this industry, you have to do that. You can't just think that I should be the lead and I should be this. If somebody wants to make a career today, the world has changed entirely. We've been seeing these kind of actors grow in the West. कि छोटा काम कर करके Bryan Cranston बनता है कोई, उसका Breaking Bad आता है when he's 50.
Correct.
And I think now with someone told me this and I kind of believe it myself. I'm also a trendsetter in this way. People I think are looking at my work and saying, okay, he went from doing one scene to a bigger role, and now he's in this big movie. So I think I hopefully will inspire people. Of course, I also want to be the center of the movie, and that is the eventual goal. And that desire is not, finished or empty. I still have that desire. But to get there, you have to climb the ladder slowly.
Of course.
And I think the best part about my career, while it's been full of struggle and pain and heartache and some great moments as well, is that no one can take away all the work I've done before this. Whether it's Inside Edge, Flesh, Gurgaon, Kala Kandi, Lal Rang Pizza, all those movies, all that work I've done, you can't take it away from me. So, I really urge actors, whoever's watching this, whoever wants to act, get out there and just act. Don't be caught up in all the noise that people tell you. Don't be caught up in your own ego and arrogance.
Correct. I think that's one of the most stark differences between an actor and someone who wants to be a star. I feel if your goal is just to act, give good roles, I think your thinking will always be like this and you will be secure. Because I feel there has been a journey and a graph which has gone up in your case, right? Absolutely. It's never gone down.
Never.
And from here, I think it's only gonna go up.
It's only upwards from here. It's so funny that you put it that way. Every message, see, people recognize. People are very intelligent. Everyone is authentic and can understand authenticity. So if you took my phone today and you looked at WhatsApp, all the messages I've gotten, everyone says onwards from here, upwards from here. They end every message with that, onwards from here, upwards from here, because they can sense that, okay, his career has been like this, and from after Fighter, so it's gonna go up. So that's a really nice feeling.
I'm sure. But do you feel not life completely, but the way people look at you, or maybe filmmakers or casting directors, I know it's just been a few days, but it has sort of changed for you. I'm sure you feel it around you, the energy.
Yeah, I do. You're right. It's only been a few days, but I feel it. I can see how someone is talking to me even in my building. Suddenly it's like, oh, you're that guy who was there, and I've seen you in the lift so many times and I haven't connected the dots. I can just see it at that level.
Wow.
So, and now when a casting director does call, Of course, there was always a sort of respect for an actor that has been working for so many years, but now it's that extra little, hey bhai, by the way, kya kaam kiya, bash, fighter. I can sense that, and unfortunately, the business is that way. We live in a capitalistic world. The business, we call it a business. It's an art form, but we call it a business. So up until you get that commercial validation, things don't really pan out for you. You can be the least talented actor, but if you're giving hit films,
I know
you're more respected than the guy who's been working for years. That's just the way it is, unfortunately. But truth prevails, and eventually your work does get noticed. And I think I am an example of that.
Yeah. For you, I also feel life comes in full circle, because when I watched Piku, you were there in that little scene, which was so memorable. See, I remember. Of course, it was one of those scenes that you can't miss. And I feel like that about every performance of yours. That's why I remember the work that you've done. Now you have this full-fledged role with Deepika, and she has also, I think, outdone herself the way she has performed. So have you. Did you feel that nostalgia while you were shooting with Deepika?
It's crazy that you asked that. You said full circle. I keep saying that to everyone, that this film to me felt full circle for many reasons. And I'm going to add a few more things into this. One is, I was a childhood, I idolized Hrithik Roshan. I think when I saw him in Kaho Na Pyar Is, when I was like, okay, मुझे भी एक्टर बनना है, but इन सारी चीज़ों पे काम करना है, body, dance, this. I think he's the reason I started dancing. I started going to the gym, and then Anil Kapoor साहब and I've done small roles with him. थार में रोल किया, एक लड़की को देखा तो ऐसा लगा मैं रोल किया, and then Piku with DP and Mamta and Sid Flesh. All of our birthdays happened to be in January, by the way. So like this whole weird destiny connection. I feel like I finally started believing in destiny. Like it's I can feel the warmth from Anil Kapoor sir and DP, and I can tell that they're like, here's a guy who's just been at it, because we've seen him grow from here to here to here, and now here I am doing this full-fledged role with these guys.
Amazing.
And also it just shows you, man. Like everyone says it. I think elderly people say it. I think today's generation doesn't have as much patience. But if you put your head down, you really, really, really work hard, it speaks for itself. I think in this Instagram like and following and look at how cool my life is kind of generation, people want things very instantly.
I know, and I was like that, because I'm borderline Gen Z, like I'm just there, and then people say so many things about Gen Zs being very impatient, and I was that 2-3 years earlier when COVID happened, and I was like, what the hell is happening? All my work's gone, like what are we gonna do? And I became so impatient. But I used to see a lot of interviews. I used to interview you back then so many times, and I used to feel all of these people are still relevant because they have just been at it. They have patiently waited and given that hard work. So in a sense, I have been inspired by you and many more people like you, and that's why when on the big screen I look at a character like Bash that you've done, I feel like there's this sense of pride in me, because I have seen your journey and it feels personal, as I've already said.
No, and I want to make sure you understand that it means a lot to me, because I've seen you so many times. We've done so many interviews, and to see your genuine happiness for me is like, it's making me feel so filled with emotion, because it's like, okay, here's a person who's watched me and knows movies and gets movies and gets how hard the journey's been.
I know.
And you owe me nothing, I owe you nothing. We've only met in this business, but yet you have that love and that kind of feeling in you. It kind of makes me feel like, okay, this is all I wanted.
I'm so
this
glad.
moment alone is so special to me.
Thank you so much. But when I talk about the movie, I have said this, that the only person who made me extremely emotional, like I had tears in my eyes, and as a critic, we are always taught that you have to watch the movie with poker face. When my teachers used to say that in journalism school, I used to be like, how? If I'm happy, I'll smile. If something's making me cry, I will cry. And that's something I haven't followed. I let my emotions out. And when I was watching Fighter, there were a lot of emotional scenes, but that particular scene, no spoiler, but you know what scene I'm talking about. That just made me go like for 5 to 10 minutes, and when that song comes, my heart just was really like, I got very emotional. I started crying, and I was like, oh my God, okay. And it made me feel so many emotions, but the entire time I was thinking about you, and imagine you were not even there. You were not on screen at that moment. I was just thinking about your character, and I was like, oh my God, that's the impact you left. You played it. How emotionally challenging was it for you? Did it take a toll, or were you like a switch off, switch on actor ki ho gaya, I'll go home, forget about it?
I think the latter. I think that I've been working for so many years that I've become sort of switch
Yeah.
on, switch off. You know, it's like my emotions are on my fingertips because I've worked in the trenches with some horrible productions and some horrible directors
Yeah.
and people, and I've been made to perform. I almost feel like a street performer, like jaga do aur bolo acting kar lo. You know, I feel like that. Like you know, I was telling somebody that I'm like an auto rickshaw. आप गाड़ी में बैठो मीटर चालू कर लो और जब तक मीटर बंद नहीं होगा मैं एक्टिंग करता रहूँगा. So I've become sort of that. You know, and hats off to Sid. I knew script wise how important that scene was. I didn't really get it till I watched it. And he never put that pressure on me. He never was like, if you don't get this scene right, the movie doesn't work. You know, which is the truth. If that scene goes wrong and I don't perform it well, the rest of that second half, the kind of weight of it goes down. He told me only later that you matched exactly what I needed for the movie. So hats off to him. He trusted me. He trusted that I'll come, I will give him what he wants. And I remember on the second take, he said, we got it, Bash, we got it. It's a trailer shot. And he did put it in the trailer.
Correct.
So yeah, I just remember feeling very happy that he looked so happy. In fact, it's the only time he clapped, you know, for anything I did. And I knew, acha scene, acha ho gaya. But I've been working so long that I feel like, you know, you wake me up, I can do a very emotional scene like that.
Oh my God, you know, just talking about it takes me back to that scene.
Yeah,
but
me too,
yeah, what an incredibly written scene.
I know.
Everything, I think, writing, direction, acting wise, everything was on point on that
On
scene.
point.
That's why it made it so emotional and real.
Yeah.
But you know, I have met both Hrithik and Anil so quite a few times, and that there's this energy that I get from them is that they will always let their co-actor shine, and they will not have that fear कि अरे अगर ये मुझसे अच्छा करेगा तो इसको ज़्यादा शायद तालियां मिलेंगी. I don't think they are, and we were at a press con where both of them were there for Fighter, and they had just good things to talk about each other and the entire cast. And I feel that energy in them. You have worked with them, and there were a lot of scenes where, of course, you were shining bright, and I couldn't look at anyone else, which is a great thing to have, because there we were not seen ki, "Are, this is Anil Kapoor, the superstar who has been working for so long." No. Everyone was an equal. Did you also get that energy from
You're
them?
bang on in your assessment of them. They both are like that. You know, even in some of the images that have been going around the internet from the screenings we've been to and some selfies we've taken, somebody asked me, "Tu beech mein kaise khada hai?" And I said, "Wo Hrithik took me there. I didn't go and stand. You know me. I didn't like force myself in the center, but Hrithik put me there. You know, what gracious superstar. He could have been like, I'm the limelight. I should be in the center. Mega star. You know." But he grabbed me and he said, "Tu idhar aaja, Anil Kapoor sir." So he's like that. So is AK, Anil Kapoor sir. Like, I remember when this scene that we've been talking about, when it was filmed, a few weeks later there was a break and we came back to shoot at YRF, and the first thing Hrithik said, I want to talk to you. So I was like, oh shoot, did I do something wrong? So I was very impatient. I was like, yeah, tell me. He said, no, wait, I'll tell you after the shot. Okay. So we finished the shot and we walked to a side, and he said, "Puri picture ek taraf, wo scene ek taraf. You killed it."
Wow.
And hearing that from Hrithik Roshan, I died. I didn't have words. I still don't have words. So I just went, wow, thank you. Gale lag gaya. He doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to compliment my work. You know, he doesn't have to take me aside and tell me that, hey man, you did a great job in that scene. He could have just been like, "Acha, theek hai, picture hai, he has to do well," or moved on, or thought about his own stuff. It's his grace, and it's the years of working that gives him the respect for that scene and the respect for somebody like me, who, agar Hrithik Roshan idhar hai, to, you know, where do I fall in that list? I think everybody knows. But he always treated me like a co-star and a colleague and someone who was such a big part of this movie. Didn't have to do that.
I'm sure, and I think that is what makes an actor a great actor, and that's why we have been watching him for so long but never really got bored or thought ki okay bus, because we can watch all of you. Even Karan, when I was watching him,
he's so
oh my
good
God,
in the
I used to
film.
watch Dil Mil Gaye, and then I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, the casting, as I said, the casting was just bang on.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't have imagined anyone else. And you know, at the conference, there was this very funny comparison that was made that, you know, it looks like Top Gun.
Yeah.
And I was
Funny
like,
is right.
yeah, it is very funny. I was like, firstly, comparing Indian movies to Western movies is impractical to another level. Our budget is this much, theirs is like I can't.
Unka budget Chandrayaan se zyada hai.
Exactly. And I was like, okay, but also I felt ki acha theek hai, you are comparing this movie to Top Gun, which means because Top Gun is a brilliant film, and I was like, okay, then you see that this film is going somewhere, and that time the film hadn't released and everyone had their own set of expectations. How do you react to these comparisons?
No, I think it's very stupid. I
Yeah.
think it's very, very stupid. I think you use the right word, funny. It also makes me realize that there's a lot of negativity in the world. You know, you're just trying to bring things down. I feel like we'll condition ही वैसा हो. घर खरीदोगे तो बोलोगे टॉयलेट छोटा है,
Yeah.
किचन छोटा है, वो गंदा है. Bought a house, be happy. The only similarity I think to Top Gun is that it's aerial action.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everything is entirely different. It's a very authentic Indian film. And if you're going to make a film about aerial action is aerial action. It's going to have similarities to Top Gun.
Yeah.
You know, if you make an army film, there's going to be large army battle sequences with guns and people wearing army uniforms. You know, I think the comparison stops there.
Yeah.
And anyone who still has that feeling about it should just go watch the film.
You know, Akshay, I remember that even today when articles are written about you, there's a line mentioned which I don't agree with, that you come from a filmy background, because I feel, and we have spoken about it, where you have told that what I have done, even though there was a certain connection, but that has nothing to do with my journey, which I have seen it and I believe it. But still, sometimes when, you know, when it's written that he's related to Vivek Oberoi or certain people, does that make you think, okay, we shouldn't be still doing it? And I have clarified this so much, but even today, like I was reading a 2022 article, which was a recent article, that said that you are Vivek's cousin. And I felt like an actor is an actor and you don't need tags, especially now, because you have created your own space.
Yeah. No, I think earlier it used to be like, yaar, and it used to be, what are you guys doing? Look at my career.
Yeah.
Has anyone brought me in front of the media and said, इसको launch कर रहे हैं? वो कभी हुआ नहीं. Usually film families में लोगों को launch किया जाता है. There's a platform built for them. They are stars before their first film. You know, I think I was unknown to the public until my 10th or 15th project. So it used to bother me because it was like, look, I'm carving this on my own. Can you just give me that respect and space?
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of like, look, just talk about me. You know, I
Yeah.
don't care how you talk about me. I should be talked about. You know, I
Okay.
think my mindset has changed. I think I've become a lot easier with things. I'm less hard on myself. So I'm like, okay, sure. But the people who know, like you, and people who've been a part of the industry, they know that everything has been me. Every little thing has been me. I mean, I've had no guidance. I've had no support from anyone except for my immediate family. And here I am talking to you today in the biggest film of 2024 because of my journey.
Exactly.
So I'm much more secure about where I am today. So, you know, people can talk. As long as they're talking about me, I'm fine with it.
Lovely. You know, 2024 has started with a bang, because in the first month we got Fighter, and last year I remember it was Pathan. And then the year was great. So I'm hoping the year is going to be great for everyone, for the film
important.
industry, for all of you. And, you know, at the press con, we were also joking about Fighter 2. Now, this is a very impractical thing, but I want to see you in Fighter 2. You will have to, and I'm so sure the makers would want you to be in the film, because you have had a big impact. I have to say the biggest impact because of course, the journey in the film.
Yeah.
But what's the update on that?
Well, Sid, if you're listening to this, I think we should make Fighter 2, and I think my character needs to have a comeback immediately.
Bash has to come
Bash
back
has to
in
come
some
back
form.
in some form or the other. I don't know. I think it's. I think this will. See, according to me, this will always be remembered as, like, you know, Anil Kapoor said it the other day when we were hanging out. He said, "This is Siddharth Anand's Diwar." You know, and it is that, because आज के date में सबसे contemporary directors में he is like the biggest director.
Yeah.
And he's made a bunch of great movies, and we don't know because Pathan तो अभी आई, war उसके पहले आई
Of
थी,
course.
Bang Bang was पहले. So we're not wrapped our heads around things yet. 10 years from now, when people look back and they're discussing Siddharth Anand movies, I think Fighter will always rank as the fan favorite, you know, or the industry favorite, or the most respected film of his career. So I hope there's a Fighter 2. I hope that this franchise continues. I also think that it's a new genre for the Indian audience, aerial action. And we have yet to fully tap that. You know, I think there's a lot more that can be done in this space.
Correct.
So I hope there's a Fighter 2.
But, you know, Akshay, before we wrap this interview, I have to say that I have said this, that upwards and onwards only from now on. But whatever you do, be it like a big film or like a web project with a big role or a small one, I know you always leave an impact like you have in the past. And I only wish to see you more on
Thank you.
screen in
Thank you.
whatever way. If it's web, if it's, you know, the big screens, whatever you do has been commendable, and I have only good things to talk about you. So we will hopefully meet soon with another project of yours. So all the
Yes,
very best,
yes.
and congratulations for Fighter.
Thank you so much. It's so kind. I love
Yeah.
speaking to you, and I
Thank you
always
so
love
much.
speaking to you. So
Me
thank
too,
you.
me
Thank
too.
you.
I was so excited for this interview, but thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hi, I'm Akshay Oberoi, and you are watching Galatta India.
GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.
Experience the next level of imaging with the Vivo X100 series. Buy now.